everyone, how would you like to paint food good enough to eat? Little Ted looks ready.
I'm using Watercolour's transparent orange, Alizarin crimson and magenta, and a Viridian hue. I'm going to start by doing a quick tonal sketch of my carrots here. Something like that, so I'll keep that to one side and refer to it now and again. And then I'm going to use Saunders Waterford paper, 425 grams, 200 pounds, lovely thick paper that doesn't cockle even when you don't stretch it, so it's very good for watercolour glazes. I'm going to spray the back first to help it to adhere to the board. There we are. And I'm going to use a pastel pencil, an orange pastel pencil, to can bend it too, which is quite good. So it's a really forgiving paper. So I'm going to have my carrot. There's some big carrot tops there. And now I'm going to use an oil pastel, a yellow one, which will resist the paint. It's a little bit dirty. Just wipe it with a kitchen roll. So I'm going to put, these have got lovely markings, these lovely fresh carrots. I bought them the other day in the market. Well, it's a little market shop in Portugal. Just a few highlights they will be, resisting the paint just here and there, because I really want to show you negative painting today. And so I'm going to start with the translucent orange and my trigger spray as usual. And wet the paper. I'm going to use a hake brush to start with, which is a 1-inch brush. Any large brush. These other brushes I'm using are, well, this one's a natural synthetic, and this natural synthetic sable, and this one's a sable. I'm going to completely wet the lower 2/3 of the paper. And then now I'll stick with these other brushes, I think. I'm just going to take off the excess water around the edges. I'm going to move the carrots because they're in my way actually, so I will refer to them, but now and again they can work a little easier then. There's still quite a lot of water coming off. The water is soaking nicely into the paper, which will give lovely atmospheric glazes. And now I'm going to, I've mixed up the translucent orange, and I'm going to use a number 12 sable. Clean water is essential, and a clean palette, and I'm going to paint around the carrots, which is sometimes called negative painting, and you'll see what lovely effects we can get doing the painting this way. In fact, I'm actually going to turn it upside down and work from the bottom. So it's going to be lovely and wet. Painting around the carrots, but obviously it will flow into the carrots as well, but that's what I want. I want it like a mixture. So I'm just going round, leaving a few gaps as well, because that gives it life and atmosphere, and trying to be a little bit random, letting the paint just flow where it wants to flow. And now I'm going to tilt the board a bit, get my kitchen roll ready, because it's probably going to pour off the board. And then I'm quite happy with this. I'm not going to do too much more. I'm going to let that dry, I think. Just have a look to see. Can you see the atmosphere that this negative painting gives? And it only took me about a minute to do, so I'm going to wipe the excess paint off and dry it with a hairdryer. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to dry it with a hairdryer, holding it about a foot away so that it doesn't bleach the colour when you're drying it, and you could dry it naturally. It's dry now. The way to test it is touch it with the back of your hand gently, and if it feels cold then it's not dry. It's important that it's bone dry for this glazing technique. So I'm going to spray the back just to help it adhere to the board a bit more, stick to the board. That's it. Actually, I might bend it again, gently bend it. There, that's fine. And I'm going to add alizarin crimson with a little bit of magenta, and I'm going to spray with my trigger spray the top area, the carrot tops, and I'm going to use a number 12 sable brush and just wet round the carrots. I'm going to do a little bit of sugar spray, not much, just a bit. I'm going to try and keep these white areas, and I'm not wetting the paper totally, just going up and down, just imagining this is like an abstract carrot painting. So So something like that. I can always add water if it's not flowing where I want it to. I've got my clean water, my clean palette, so I should be good to go. So I'm going to add my paint, which is to a semi-skimmed milk consistency. Perhaps it's slightly less. It should be a semi-skim really, but I'll see how it goes. It'll probably be alright. Oh no, that is okay. So I'm just going to add it. In fact, I could have done it the other way up again. I'm going to do that again. Turn it around. And it won't flow into the dry areas, but it will flow into the wet areas, which is what I want. My sugar spray. Just dot it anywhere really and see what happens. Ever such fun this. It's lovely and wet. I like working with wet paint. Some people like it drier, but I get nice results from it. So let's see what's going to happen. I mean, that could be the beginning of a carrot, another carrot around there. Be quite nice to do this on a really big sheet of watercolour paper, thick watercolour paper. Sometimes I use an even thicker paper, which is really great. It lays completely flat. I mean, this lays more or less flat, but the thicker the better really. I'm going to put that down there and just have a little tilt to see what I can get from this. Add some more. I'll add some orange on this too. Adding more in the same similar places. It's a nice big brush. See, I'm not really painting, it's painting itself. That's why when people say to me they can't paint, I have to try and encourage them, because you just need to want to do it. That's the main thing. And it's just about learning a few techniques. And so I'm going to have a bit of this colour in the carrot tops. So I'm using the back of the handle of the brush. This carrot's sort of got a split there, I've decided. And I'm going to start to draw in a bit of colour, like you get nice ridges on the carrots, as you can see here. See what I can do. Bring some more. I'm going to put green on the carrot tops. Spattering as well is quite nice to do. I don't want to lose too much of the lightness of the pale tones of the carrots. Going to add the carrot tops in a minute. Which are Viridian hue in here, in this palette. It's Viridian hue, which is a very bright green. I'm going to just tickle the top of the carrots. Let's see what happens. Use the handle again. I'll just add a little bit of clean water, spatter, just a little bit there. You could add salt for similar effects. I've let it dry, and as you can see it dries lighter, about 20-25% lighter, something like that. I'm referring to my tonal sketch, which shows the darks predominantly across the top and coming down with the lighter tones of the carrots. And so I'm going to finish off just by using my sugar spray again. And I've got my Inktense blocks here in similar colours, and I think I'm going to use this one and just strengthen here and there, strengthen the edges of the carrots, define them more. I quite like this soft bit though, so I'm going to leave that and make the carrot top a little bit darker as well. I like it fairly abstract, so I won't do too much. Perhaps come down this side a little bit. Could bring that round. Come round here. When you use the Inktense blocks, when you spray them, they go darker. But this is on wet paper, so they'll be darker in places, but not where the paper's dry. This carrot's looking a bit. The shape needs to be shaped more, so I'll just come round there. Let's just do that on the bottom, and then this one as well needs to be defined a little bit more. I'll go around the end. Carrot perhaps. Also, in addition to what I'm doing, I'm going to add a little bit of orange, and then I hope you can see that doing this way of painting around this subject is quite exciting. It gives lovely different effects. As I say, it's knowing when to stop. That's the hardest thing for so many artists. I think I'm getting to that point. The because one can always stop and then put it aside and then go back to it a couple of days later, and you'll see if it's not finished. Something will shout out at you, and then you'll know that you just need to tweak it. But for now, I think I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like and or subscribe. See you next time. Thank you for watching. One cloudy morning I was surprised to see my milky muesli bowl become like white shining stars looking out at me. Blueberries have a rough patch at their centre which could resemble the galaxy, I thought, when they're showered with milk, all providing even more nutrients to these antioxidant-filled little wonders, like jewels in a crown. Look at the crown of a carrot. Some of us may not have a crown of hair to speak of, similar to when the carrot top is prepared for consumption. Nevertheless, God even knows how many hairs on our head we are assured in the Bible.